everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bold Takes and Bad Tempers. I am your host, Zachary Ronaldo, better known online as Zach the Bold, and welcome to my show, where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I get sticky questions, I give you stickier answers. This mic stand is falling apart on me. I'm going to be messing with it the whole time. I come into the office today, there's like this mysterious white powder all over my table. I don't know what it is. I think it's insulation or drywall or whatever it may be coming out of the ceiling. I think the ceiling fan at some point will fall down, and it's not my problem. I rent. I'm planning on getting a house, but my 50-year loan hasn't passed yet. This mic stand is, I gotta be spending money on new mic stands because I guess they're just falling apart on me. I hope everyone had a great week. We had a bit of a slow week over on the channel. We had a long form go out on Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you felt very inspired. I got some blowback from it from my friends saying I was being too real. I always feel like I lose my steam there. For those who are listening, the podcast just cut because it said I was like every time I talked, it would just peak the entire time. But I guess it's just the way my Sennheiser mic is working. Yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about, and we're just going to try to get right back into it. But yeah, my ceiling fan is going to fall halfway through the episode. My mic stand is falling apart. I got one short form out this week, and the reason is because we have a packed week. If you ever notice that my hair goes to the side like this, I get so many comments every day. How do I do my hair? I just got to pin it. I got to pin it at the top of my Instagram, my TikTok. And so hopefully we'll have more coming out this next week. I wrote scripts out for short forms, but they're all too long to fit into my schedule. And then I got back from Atlanta on Monday, so I'd lost a day. I had been traveling. And I just, and it was the least busy I've ever seen the Atlanta airport. For everything that's going on in the world right now, it was the least busy I'd ever seen the Atlanta airport. And that's the thing about, and we won't get into it too much right now because TSA aren't getting paid, so it makes sense. And everyone knows if you go to the Atlanta airport when TSA is getting paid, it is the nicest place on the planet. It is like there is water at the beach, the sky is blue, the Atlanta airport, everyone is incredibly nice the entire time. And so we're lining up for TSA and whatever. And I'm just, smiling. And I don't blame them, right? I don't blame that TSA is literally trying to handle everyone there. Something about, where those lines throughout the world kind of meet up at certain points? That is where we decided to build every airport, Sam's Club, and Costco in the entire world. Something about that, you walk into a building, it seems like everyone except me, of course, because I'm perfect. When I walk into an airport or a Costco or a Sam's Club, the men in black, Will Smith, comes up to you and he shines the light and you blank out on everything in your entire world. This guy goes up to TSA, puts in, gets yelled at, of course, walks in and he's looking at the ceiling and I start to look up and everyone else starts to look up and this person has to get up. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know? And he goes, no, I was actually born yesterday. I was born out of one of the body spores from Blade Runner 2049. Jared Leto and his big, thick, silver eyes caressed my face, and he said, you must go to the Atlanta airport. And he went there, and good on him. It was the second day alive. He's doing great. We get through, and everyone's, every airport I go to thinks they have the same exact rules. Sometimes I gotta take off my shoes. Sometimes I gotta take off my shirt, my belt. Sometimes I have to uncircumcise myself. Sometimes I have to take out my teeth. Sometimes I have to take out a loan. Sometimes I have to. And then every airport after that feels like it is the exact same for every other airport in the entire world. And it's not. And I'm getting yelled at. And I have a big smile. That's fine. I'll go over here. They give me the white blindfold and they put me against the post and I go, oh, don't miss. And they shoot me in the gut. So, and then I don't know what it's been about, restaurant in airports lately. I feel like Jerry Seinfeld, what's the deal with restaurants and airports? But it's something about the monopoly of being in an airport. Like you have nowhere else to go. You could go to the nicest airport restaurant and have the worst time, and you'll pay $1 million. You'll pay $1 million. People are always like, how to get rich in 3 days. You need to buy a laundromat. You need to invest in crypto. And you need to go out and you need to finance a Dollar General in the Midwest. Wrong. You have to save up your money. I need a Pursuit of Happiness. I need the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, but he's financing a Carrabba's in an airport. And then he finally makes it when he gets approved. He's smiling. He's crying, smiling, because he got approved to put in a McDonald's inside of Midway. That is now the American dream when it comes to finance. We need a Big Short about making a monopoly of a restaurant and airport. And the first one, we walk 8 miles in Atlanta. We walk 8 miles in Atlanta inside of the airport. We take the tram and no one there knows how to take a train ever. They've never taken a train ever in their life because we don't have the infrastructure for it, right? Never. And every time I'm holding on to and the train takes off, and I'm scared that scene in Invincible will happen, but someone's grandma just goes flying back through the glass, and I'm just holding on, got a big smile on my face. Man, I love this airport. I love this airport so much. And we got into the restaurant. We finally make it to the restaurant, and it sucks. They're handing out everything in to-go bags. You pay $90,000 for calamari. So we leave the restaurant. We go to a different one. We go to a Carrabba's, funny enough. We go to a Carrabba's somewhere in the Atlanta airport. And I sit down. And there's something about, when you're in LA and you're like, oh, I want to go out to the strip mall. The best food's always in a strip mall. And you go and it's crowded and hot. And it breaks every fire code that there ever is at the federal level, state level, city council level. They don't have air ventilation. They don't have lighting. It's a pitch black room. It's steaming hot. It's 97 degrees. And you eat and you spend $2,000 and you leave and it's an experience. There's something about the world of going into a corporate restaurant and you know that it's like through this thin facade, through this thin veneer, that it is the room from Silent Hill 4. That they painted over, like the sirens are still going off and the drywall is peeling off the sides and people are just painting over it as it happens. Pyramid Head is dragging his giant sword across the Carrabba's in the Atlanta airport, and behind them people are just filling in the caulk, all right? So we sit down and we just get the meanest lady in the entire world. She comes over and she doesn't want to talk to us. It's like we sat down. Like she would, like this server was in her house and she was watching her daughter give birth. And then she turns around. Her daughter is like holding her granddaughter for the first time. And she turns around and it's me and my girlfriend sitting in her kitchen waiting for her to serve us. And that's how it feels. That's the oppressing environment to go into any corporate restaurant, into any airport. You are just one big convenience. You are paying $200 on Cisco frozen food to feel like a hostage, to feel like you are the most uninvited person in the entire world. And you have to sit there and smile. You just can't. Listen, I hated being a server. I was a server for like 10 years. I served my time in Chili's. I served my time at like a fine dining restaurant in Michigan. And then I did it at a nice restaurant in downtown Los Angeles. But I miss the freedom of being a server and sitting down, and I'd be there with all my friends who are working HR. They work in HR or they work in accounting or, they do AV tech for their church and they're smiling. And we get the worst, and the server will come up to them, right? And they go, give me your phone. I want to take a Rocket Money loan out. And they ruin their credit, and they will go, hey, can I please see your social security card? And they just take a picture of it, and they put it online. And they go, oh my gosh, like this place, have you seen the chandelier? It's so nice. And I'm sitting there, and I go, what are you guys talking about? No, I'm not going to. What? This is the worst server ever. And they'd be like, Zach, how dare you? You don't know what this person... How dare you? I work at a restaurant 5 days a week. I'm there 12 hours a day, and when I'm not there, I'm on the site. I'm on the work site. Now I have a Milwaukee or a DeWalt in my hand, dude. And OSHA's there, and I got the new chin strap helmets, and my foreman is yelling at me because I look like a nerd. That is how my life was before the YouTube, right? But now I have to be like them. I have to be like the accounting, and it's just like my heart is beating, my brain, my veins are popping out. I look like Ultra Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. My head is like up to here, and you can see it pulsing with the blood. She comes over and she's just vile to us. And we're sitting there, we would like the triple dip bread entree, please. And we'll take the $200 calamari. And then she smacks me across the face and I go, thank you. Thank you. And the food comes out and it sucks. And I'm eating it like I've never eaten anything in my life. Oh, I'm the guy from the Key and Peele skit at the Continental Breakfast, just eating everything up. And then we go, hey, can I get a refill? And of course, that is like the equivalent of me bringing up their dead relative. And they don't take our cups. They bring us to-go cups and tableside, make eye contact with me, frowning, filling up my cup. Because how dare I? And then we go and we get the check. And I have to, I take a Klarna loan out and I pay for the bill. And I say, thank you. And I get up and I got to walk over to our server because once they set the check down, they didn't even set the check down. You pay at the table. And once that happens, you're dead. You're dead to them. You should never even think you existed. How dare you? And so the waiter comes over. Sorry, what am I saying? I'm just saying stuff. I have to get up and we have these to-go drinks that are half full because they refilled our normal drinks. My girlfriend wants to take hers. That's awesome. I get up, I walk to our server, and I go, I have my little hat in my hands. I'm little Timmy from A Christmas Story, A Christmas Carol. And I go up there and I'm 3 feet tall and I'm looking up at this woman and I go, please, ma'am, can I have a lid for my to-go cup? And what she does, right, is the pillar from Hellraiser comes up behind me. She mories me like in Dead by Daylight. In reality, she frowns. She gets mad. I'll come over to that table. Yeah, I'll get it for you. That's how she said it. And I go, thank you. Thank you. And I grab it and I go and I'm sipping my little sippy cup and I sit down. And it's the worst place in the world. But that's how this is, right? You don't go to the beach and complain about the sand. And all my prequel nerds are like, oh, sand reference, sand. You don't go out in a sunny day and say the sky's blue. Why is that? This is how things are. This is where we should be in the Atlanta airport. This is part of the experience. You go to Venice and the guy sings to you and he rows down the aisles, right? You go over to, you go to France and you get yourself a baguette and you look at the Eiffel Tower and you go, I saw that thing get destroyed in Modern Warfare 3. And you eat your baguette and then you go to the Atlanta airport and someone at the Carrabba's at the Atlanta airport takes a double-barrel shotgun and blows you into the tarmac. Pause. In Minecraft. Because that's the way the experience is. And you should have a smile on your face. That is the way to do it. Anyways, this is BoldTakes and Bad Tempers. I answer people's questions about Dungeons & Dragons and other D&D-like games. But it's been a busy week. I've been, travel's hard. PAX Unplugged is coming up. And I don't know if I'm going anymore. If we're not getting political at all, but it's just the state of affairs. If the government shutdown continues on, I'm sorry. If you're from Philly, that's awesome. I don't want to be stuck there. I don't want to be stuck in Philadelphia and have to drive to the West Coast. And I don't know if I want to deal with that. I will be at PAX Unplugged on Friday and Saturday. Pretty much only Saturday. I just realized that. So I'll barely be there in the first place. Which makes me realize it's not worth the hassle if I have to be at PAX Unplugged for a day and then trapped there. So because both airports I'm taking are on that 40 list that they're just cutting flights. I don't mind if it's like we're about to go the day before and our flight gets canceled, whatever. I'd probably just wouldn't go. I wouldn't reset it up. I'd cancel my hotel, whatever, right? But I'm not going to Philadelphia and being stuck there and then have to rent a car for $7,000, right? So who knows? I might be there, might not. I've put away all the games I've been playing. I've been playing Metroid Prime 3 because Metroid Prime 4 is finally coming out after 200 years of whatever, right? Of just waiting around. I'm a Half-Life fan. This is how these things go. And for those who don't know about Metroid Prime 3, it's a first-person shooter. It uses the Wii nunchuck and the Wii block, like the normal controller. And for whatever reason, they took the Skyward Sword idea. And in Metroid, you feel like you're more immersed. You like, sometimes Samus, the main protagonist of Metroid Prime, will like grab something, and you have to take the Wii remote and put it forward, and then pull it back and twist, and she like does stuff in the game. The technology wasn't there. It wasn't. I'm sitting down holding this block. I don't know who thought this block would be a good idea for a controller. I'm holding this block. I'm getting myself arthritis holding this thing, trying to keep it aligned. I'm literally playing like this. My wrists are inward because I'm trying to hit the sensor bar that uses infrared technology. I might as well be using the Magnavox Odyssey in the 70s. And I'm twisting, and I'm playing like I feel like I'm playing like the first rendition of like the alpha version of like the Oculus, of the HTC Vive. You remember when it was just like they used like a bolt, like a plank, and they screwed a Wii remote to it? So I have arthritis. I'm playing like this, and I'm trying to twist and pull, and it just doesn't work. I have the 2-in-1 motion controller. I'm twisting. I'm there. My girlfriend's playing, chilling, hanging out. And in the corner of her eyes, she just sees me freaking out, trying to work with technology that doesn't. And I go and I look, I go, what is Metroid Prime's ratings at the time? You know, what was the reviews, whatever. And sure, it's the most disliked Metroid Prime game, but it's still like a 9 out of 10. There are times in the game where you have to take your little grapple hook, and it'll be in the middle of a boss fight. And I hate anything in video games. And this started with Ocarina of Time and the Scaladas, or whatever they're called, Scaludas, the little skull spiders. I hate if your enemy in the game if the point of your enemy is like, can't attack, now you can't attack. It's terrible. It's the same thing in Binding of Isaac with those stupid skulls, and it's the same thing in Metroid Prime. You have to grab the nunchuck, and you like throw out your grapple, and then you pull it out. Like that's supposed to be the motion. You throw out your grapple, and you pull it out, and it doesn't work. And you know what the punishment is if you don't do it in time? Then you have to fight the boss longer. It's literally like I'm spending my time. I'm giving I know that if I miss a shot in this boss, I give up minutes of my life. I get Shinigami eyes. I sacrifice time in my life. I give myself. I might censor that. That was a spoiler. But I won't censor my mouth. It's in case people want to know. And it's like I'm throwing out the nut, and I'm fine. I'm yanking, and I'm giving myself my shoulders. It's, you know, when you play Wii Sports and I throw my shoulder out. So my girlfriend's looking over, and I'm fighting a boss, and I'm looking like this, and I'm slowly, it's like, throw the grapple out, put your hand in, pull it out, doesn't work. There's literally a part where you have to pump something, and I'm just slow jerking it, playing Metroid Prime 3 alone in my underwear, and like a Chuck E. Cheese shirt. I'm sweating, I got chips all over me, and I'm slowly jerking off a Wii remote, playing Metroid Prime 3. I'm there. Zach, you are a busy man. What do you do in your free time? Oh, I sit there and I have a factor meal on me, and I'm just yanking one out and playing Metroid Prime 3. Hey, Metroid Prime 3 gameplay rocks, Metroid Prime gameplay, and I'm just doing this, and it doesn't work. And I don't know if I'll play Metroid Prime 4 because I don't want to switch. I don't. But I want to play Metroid Prime 4. Does that mean I want to pay $600, $700 to play Metroid Prime 4? No. Why does Samus have a motorcycle? Is it going to be open world like Elden Ring? Because Breath of the Wild was good and it had these good mechanics. And Metroid Prime 2 was like, we took a lot of inspiration from Legend of Zelda. We took a lot of inspiration. So we made it open world in Metroid Prime 4. And that's been my life. My flight gets canceled, and so I have to sit on my couch, and I gotta ring one out. I gotta ring one out for Samus Aran. Pause. What else has been going on? I had a dream last night that a bunch of short-form D&D creators were making fun of my content. I don't know what that means for me psychologically. I'm sure Freud had some big words for me. But it was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath in the sense that I was like, I don't think you know what you're signing up for, right? So in the world I'm beefing, there's a lot of, you'll see. Can I even say Keemstar? Is that allowed? Like, did he do something so bad where it's just not allowed? Like, exploit lol cows on the internet? Yeah, I know Ball. And yeah, now he's talking about me on Drama Alert. I want to also point out one other thing. Is I've seen a lot of comments on the last podcast episode that whenever I talk about the gym, it shocks some people, right? Not that I don't look huge, right? But I've definitely, it's definitely taken a backseat. And it made me realize that when I started the podcast, when I started doing the D&D stuff, my life did change a lot, right? I used to work at a restaurant, and on weekends, I would go out and I'd go to like Boiler Room, and I wouldn't do drugs. Like, I'm not, but I'd get drunk. I get trashed. And I'd go, and I always forget that word. What is it in Europe when they're stepping? Juiced does it a lot. I've definitely said this before on the podcast. But I'd go to Boiler Room and then I'd work out and I'd listen to like Vocaloids, like trap remix, and I'd work out for 2 hours every day, and I'd be on like 600 milligrams of caffeine. And then I'd go and I'd wear a white t-shirt and these like plaid pants, sunglasses in the club all the time. I don't care. If you're at Boiler Room, if you're there, then the DJ is like 120 pounds, ripped, shredded, looks like Bruce Lee. And they're literally you gotta have sunglasses on. And I'd always do the stink face, dude. And that was my life, That's all I care about. That's all I do. I play D&D, But I feel like I'm talking to my kids. Talking to my kids about dad lore, dude. I used to be able to hang. I was there for Grizz. I was there for Subtronics. I didn't go to festivals. Didn't like that. I liked being in like under like the 6th Street Bridge in LA with the lights off. And I'm a cyber goth. And so it's weird to talk about that, and it kind of goes into this next part where it's like sometimes I have to realize too that I'm in a different space, and I don't see it as much in D&D, but I see it in the magic world. In one of my Instagram posts, I show off this 8-mana legendary artifact from the new upcoming Avatar: The Last Airbender set, and the card is called the Ball of Ba Sing Se. It is an 8-cost legendary artifact, 0/30. That has indestructible and gives other permanents hexproof or something like that. And people like reply and they're like, that's cool and that's fun. And my caption was, it just said, this is all it said. It said, holy schmoly. I go, holy schmoly, that's so funny. A 0/30 legendary artifact. I don't even think it's indestructible. And without fail, there's these dorks. I don't know what else to call them. These dorks that message me on Instagram. Well, it dies to removal. Well, it exterminates to removal. And it's just insufferable. I won't say who, but a couple of these other magic creators that I know, they tell me about how people will watch their content just so they can comment what they did wrong. Like they're playing Judge's Tower or something. They don't watch it because of the personalities and whatever. Sure, maybe you don't get along with the personalities. It's literally so they can watch it. It's like Patrick waking up, oh boy, 3 a.m. Time to be insufferable and watch this video. And people are like, dies to removal. Is that all you guys have to say? You can't be like every other cool person that's just like, this is a fun card. Wow, this is going in this deck. This is going into this deck. Well, actually, it has to go. It dies to removal. Oh my God, I hope the spirit from Drag Me to Hell vomits mealworms onto your face and into your mouth. I hope that scene happens and you go, well, that's insufferable. And you get a phone call and it's like, and the Ring plays on the TV and you're like, hello? that you like, if I was the master from Fallout 1, I'd dip you in like, whatever that mutated virus is. Well, I wish you nothing but to be in purgatory of like going through TSA at the Atlanta airport to Carrabba's, and then you like accidentally step back outside and have to go through security again. And that's an endless loop. And it's just like, why isn't any creator talking about this? I mean, I see like Wubby or Meat Canyon talk about stuff like this, but it's just like, I talk to other creators like, yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. They're dorks. They're dorks. 70 years ago, you would have been kicking sand onto them, dude. You would have been the jock. You would have been the jock, Chad, walking around. You have a leather jacket on at the beach, and it says on the back, there's a tattoo on your back, and it says the wall of Bossing Say, and some guy comes over and he pushes up his thing. Well, did you know? And it's just that it's like a hard cut, and they're in the sand, and their head's sticking up out of the sand. Well, I just don't think that's very. Well, it's engagement. I don't want it. I don't want that engagement. I don't want it. Well, joke's on them. They're engaging with my video. They're a dork. They're a dork. Can anyone please just say that? Why are we ignoring the obvious? These guys are coming in, they're like, Commander sucks, and that dies to removal. I'm playing against Sen triplets. I'm having the worst time. I bring my friend in, and we're playing in a new pod. They have never played any Magic game ever in their entire life. And they sit down, and here comes this smug guy who's never had anyone say anything to him before in his entire life. And he sits down at the table. Yeah, we're all playing precons. Like, yeah, we're having like whatever, Maybe it's not even that. We're playing 4s. Maybe we're playing, 3s, high tier 3s, power level 3s. And this guy, and I have a new friend, and I've finally, I've convinced him to play. And they sit down, and they'll play Grand Arbiter. And they make it so every spell costs 7 more mana to cast. Well, if you think about it logistically, this was a 7 mana spell, so actually I should have won at this point. You're making the game insufferable. The game takes 8 hours. I'm playing hands on a hard body. I might as well be dancing until I fall for Patty's Pub. I tell my friend, hey, let's do this. It'll take like 2 hours. It'll be fun. And he's trapped. And we're trapped playing against Sen's triplets. And this person goes online, and they go, and if my friend was to go online and be like, hey, is this how Magic's played? And everyone in the comments would just be like, you suck, dies to removal. This card shouldn't be banned, it's just fine. What is wrong with some of these people, dude? If I go to a pod, and I see you're playing Grand Arbiter, Sen's Triplet, Turgrid. If you're playing anything, if I sit down and you're playing something and then take something else out that's worse, I will get up and leave. And you know what I'll say to you? I go, that deck sucks. I go, I hope you do have fun with it because you're never playing against me. Because you'll never play with it against me. All of these new gens are so soft. They're so, well, we're not going to ban. This is actually not, this card dies to removal. Yeah, and then I'll play against a Codis the Fangbearer that has 99 pieces of hexproof in their deck. And you can't get rid of it, and they steal your cards and you can't play. Or they lock you out of the game. And you'd think that people would go online and be like, I hate playing against these decks. But they're just berated. They're berated that you are wrong and you suck at this game and it's not a problem. I don't care if it's not a problem with balance. It's a problem with having fun in the game. You've ran Armageddon 4 times. And it's just like, yeah, well, it's a part of my deck. There's no win con, and the game goes on for 4 hours. One time somebody commented on one of my videos, and it was like, a game going on too long is never an acceptable reason to scoop. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Hey, sorry, newsflash, since you need this. I'm sending this out to my 5G tower so it's injected into your brain. People have lives. They want to pick up a game and put it down. Well, this is going to get my troll deck. My friends are going to hate me. Is that the goal? Really? Is that the goal? My buddy has spent, like, I'm dead serious, like $1,200 on making troll decks. And he used to play them all the time with my old friends until I came in and I was like, that is unacceptable. If you want me to play it, I will play nothing but a mono blue only counterspell deck. I will never win, but you sure as heck won't either. I should have just wore that. That was cringe. And it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do if you play a control deck. Like, this is an interaction game. I played Magic for the first time with someone who had like 1,200 hours on Arena and had that mentality. And I had to convince 8 people to stick with it until they got the game knowledge finally. And then when we finally got the game knowledge to like shut them down, they never wanted to play again. Because there are these dorks out there that play this game so they can finally feel good. So they can finally feel good. And they message me on Instagram and they're like, well, it dies to removal. You're insufferable. You are the reason people play Command. If you want to go play, how many times do I have to make this rant? If you want to go play Standard, I take my laptop and I rip it in half. If you want to go play Standard, go play Standard. I'm sorry that the game is moving towards Commander. Has the gears started grinding enough for you that you realize that people like Commander because it's not an insufferable mess? Because it's not an insufferable mess of people being like constant interaction? Look at the state of Standard. Has finally, like, the gears have broken enough onto you? I've lubricated them enough for you to finally admit, like, oh, people play Commander because it is a friendly, understandable, low salt game. People can pop off, they can't pop off, they can do whatever. And you're running Turgid, and you're running Send Triplets and Grand Arbiter. And you go and you play Standard Control. You play white-blue Control, and that's fine. Go play with Arena. You might as well be dancing at a masquerade party. You might as well be dancing in VR chat, because I'm not dealing with it. And then you go online, and these people are like, well, that's skill issue. I can run more removal. I can have 20 removal, 25 removal. I can have every counterspell ever printed and make sure that I have a commander that makes it if I cast more counterspells, if I engage, if I just slow the game down to a halt, I will win. That is not why a lot of people play the game, and it's shifting, and it's shifting. And they're like, I just can't believe this. Like, well, it's a skill issue. If they can't deal with it, then it's just a skill issue. You're playing Eldrazi. I have Turgid and Eldrazi and someone who I'm trying to convince to play, and they're just running it. You know what? You want a bold take? I like Yu-Gi-Oh's new point system, and I wish they had it in Commander. I wish we had 100 points, and Turgid, Send Triplets, Armageddon, anything that's on the top 100 EDH Rex Salt, unless it's CEDH, should be like 95 points. I never want to interact with those cards because it's not fun. It's not because, like Rhystic Study, I would rather have 70 copies of Rhystic Study than face one Armageddon. I would rather have 70 copies of Rhystic Study or Jessica's Will or Teferi's Protection, even Cyclonic Rift, before I have to face off one Grand Arbiter. So Sigil did not make it through, I guess the apparent how to make money system. Did we talk about that? Anyways, yeah, it set me off. Never message me if you're going to say dies to removal. Never message me. We're going to get into some questions, and then some people wanted me to spend more time on the super thanks. So I will do that today. Hey, Zach, love your content and your videos, especially the podcast. I wouldn't be able to get through work or prep my sessions without them. You're listening to this while prepping a session? No, I'm assuming they're saying beforehand. Speaking of prep, I'm really struggling to find interesting thing for my party to do before level 5. Okay. Do you remember what I just said like 2 seconds ago? Maybe maybe I'm the equivalent of that in D&D. You don't know what to do with them before level 5? They're both also new. They're both also new, which makes me think you have 2 players. Great. Well, there's a problem. Zach, I don't know how to run this game. I have 2 players. They're both under level 5. I guarantee you this question's going to be like, how do I balance it without getting them killed? 2 players. They're both also new, so I want to get them a feel for the game and their own abilities. It's my first time DMing or really even playing, so I've had to learn the game from the ground up. I have what I think... Dude, I'm sweating, bro. I have what I think is an amazing story planned out for both of them, where my dwarf wizard player is going to receive a letter from his clan and have to go to face a trail where upon completion, he'll get a map with a rune. He'll get a map to a ruin with a legendary weapon. Okay. So far, I'm trying to understand this context in a way that'll be like, oh, this is what you can do with, like, I expect if you're, like, what level are you? If you're before level 5, what is, just keep reading, Zach. This is how context clues, man. I got it, guys. Don't worry. And my Dragonborn barbarian will find the others of her kind. Dragonborn aren't common species, and they send her to take on the tyrannical dragon, keeping them in its service. But I don't want to put them through too much before, as I don't want to accidentally TPK my party of 2. Do you have any suggestions for a basic fantasy story until I get them up to level 5? Hey, Zach, I love the pod. I love the content. Hey, I'm going to need you to write up my story. So here's the bit, right? I got a dwarf, and he needs a legendary item, and I got a dragonborn who needs to find their kin. Right. Let me get my billboard out. Let me get my whiteboard out, and we can walk through it together. And we can hit these story beats here, here, and here. How do I do all this without TPKing my party? Balance it so they can. You can do a 2-year campaign as level 1. Going from fighting 1 twig blight to 200. You just balance it? Like, just make it so that they're not fighting an ancient copper dragon at level 3. Maybe they fight kobolds. Maybe they fight gelatinous cubes. Hey, Zach, love the podcast. If you could you make my campaign for me? Zach, I got a big old question. I get this question all the time. People will message me in TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, the email, and they'll say, Zach, I just want to run my campaign by you. And I sit there. I'm like, I'm Tony Soprano's therapist. Sorry, I can't remember her name right now. And I'm just sitting there, and then you do, and it's a dragonborn. Okay, well, let me clock this up. I got time for this. I just don't want to get in them too much before they die before level 5. So don't put in like a really hard. Well, if he's getting a legendary weapon, he's got to fight God. He's got to fight a Deadite from Evil Dead. What is the problem here? What are we talking about, Zach? How about this? All right. If you're gonna want to have them fight something that maybe is. They're in Dark Souls 1, right? See how I'm borrowing from other stuff in my life? In one of the DLCs, you finally get to Astorius. Astarion. Artorias. I was close. He has a broken arm. Usually he'd be way harder than that fight, but he has a broken arm. You can do something like that. You can do something. Zach, I'm gonna need you 2 things. Hey, Zach, love the podcast. Write my campaign for me, and also, how do I make my combat balanced? Would love to hear more. Just send me out some of your ideas. Here's some context. I have 2 players. One's a dwarf, one's a dragonborn. The rest is up to you. Love the content. Talk to you later. Bye. And I'm there. I'm Charlie. I'm in the sweatshop, and I'm like typing it up. Yes. I'm like I used to do that in high school where I would type up people's essays for them, especially in like creative writing class. And funny enough, they'd always get a higher grade than me. So sorry, Miss Barnes, you know what? Take away my high school diploma. I really do not care anymore. I think if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably, at this point, like if everything just fell apart, Probably, man, I don't know. Probably, yeah, like the oil rig in Alaska, work for whatever. I'd probably do like the thing from Kick-Ass where I like go out and dress as like a superhero, and someone just shoots me. Ah! I fall on the ground. I go, I used to be a D&D YouTuber, and I get shot in the stomach. Hey, Ronald Dildo. Very funny. Very good. I'm an unashamed power gamer. Unlike a lot of people, I first started playing D&D for the roleplay and storytelling aspect. Hey, Zach. I'm an unashamed power gamer. Unlike a lot of people, I joined in Dungeons & Dragons for the roleplay and the story elements. Hey, Zach, I just started my first game of Call of Duty. I actually joined for the first-person element and also the shooting combat element. Hey, Zach, I just joined. I played Mario for the first time, and actually, I played for the jumping element and and getting one-ups element. Unlike a lot of people, I started playing. Hey, Zach, I started playing Sonic. Unlike most people, because I wanted to go fast. Unlike a lot of people, I first started playing D&D for the role-playing storytelling aspect. However, as I learned the rules, I started to develop an appreciation for build crafting, strategy, and in general. Yes, because that's why people join Dungeons & Dragons. I love when I got into Dungeons & Dragons because I was watching YouTube videos on the top 10 Thanos builds of how to make your character Thanos from Marvel. I was like, that's how I want to get into D&D. Not because of Critical Role in their storytelling, not because of the Adventure Zone and jokes, or Legends of Evantris because of their jokes and their stories and whatever. I got into D&D unlike everyone else. Zach, you're going to love this. Unlike everyone else, I joined because I love playing the game. All right. In general, strict framework of the rules is written to create things I found interesting. Zach, I joined for the role play and the storytelling. And then I stuck around so that I can make the most min-maxed builds. I just found it interesting that if I turn on all of the optional additions in D&D Beyond, I can give myself an anti-matter rifle that does 6d8 per shot. And that fascinated me. I was quite, and this person is sitting down, they're at a TED Talk. When I first started playing D&D, they're wearing a turtleneck, and when I first started playing D&D, I joined for the role play. This is how I do my talking head videos. Maybe I'm making fun of myself. And everyone's like, build crafting lands somewhere in between an art and a science, and it tickles my brain in a very satisfying way. When the new 2024 rule spoilers were coming out, I loved speculating about different builds that might be possible with the revised system. I'd like to make the point that each D&D player enjoys the game for different reasons. Oh, let me highlight that and bookmark it. I've never said that on the podcast before, ever. When I'm a player and I'm not the DM, this comes down to making a character I find interesting and watching how they develop. Zach, unlike most people, I joined Dungeons & Dragons for the cooperative storytelling element and roleplay. Also, when I'm not DMing, I like making cool, interesting characters I find fun to play. Hold on, guys. Is he cooking? Hold on. Do we have... I'm sorry. I don't usually do this. I gotta let Matt know about this guy, dude. And watching how they develop as the story unfolds. This has to be parody. No one actually wrote this into me. No one wrote into me and is like, Zach, I love character development. Role play and playing the game. Unlike a lot of people, I joined this game for character development, learning how to play, and making a character strong. Oh, man. But it also comes down to trying builds, combos, and strategies that I want to test. If I build a creator that build I created works well in practice, it gives me a feeling of satisfaction. Am I receiving bots? Is someone making ChatGPT send me, like, am I lying to everybody? Did I actually not even get this from the mailbox? Zach, I love building a good, well-rounded, strong character, seeing them develop and seeing a story pan out. Zach, I don't know if a lot of people like this, but I actually like when a story tells me elements, like in an expository way, and then something happens to kick off the conflict within the story, and there's 2-3 beats that make it so that there's like some kind of action that rises until it hits a pinnacle into like this climatic moment, and then it just like it quickly will resolve everything, and then we move on to the next campaign. Well, with that out of the way, that's what he said. Well, with that out of the way, what is the question? What is the question? Because of this, I hate when players cheat, bend the rules during character creation for power advantages, or use broken BS homebrew. It completely spits on what I try to do when build crafting, and people generally just do it because they're trying to have the coolest character or break their DM's game. Oh, wow. Holy moly. Holy moly. To me, this is not the point of optimizing. When I create an optimized character, it's an exercise in my creativity and ability to utilize the rule system. This man sits at the D&D table with a director's chair, and he sits forward, and he just waits. Zach, I joined D&D for the cooperative role-playing element, and I min-max my characters. I play Gloomstalker Ragin, Arcane Assassin. I grab 3 magic items 2 from the A list, 1 from the B and C list. I hate it. I hate when people bend the rules and they min-max their characters because they want to be strong. I don't really like that. I think actually I should be the strong one. When I make my builds, it's because I want my character to be unique and cool, and I don't like when they take the spotlight. Zach, I love the role-playing element, and when players cheat, I hate it. I hate when players cheat in my cooperative game. The group I plays with knows I like building powerful characters and that I will always play very efficiently in the combats. It has not been a problem so far, and in practice, I like to help other players shine in combats as well. But they can't be as strong as me. I will knock down a villain. I'll do 166 damage as the Paladin, Arcane Rogue, Trickster Rogue, Gloomstalker, Power Cleric. I think it's Peace Domain, not Power Domain. I've messed that up on the podcast many times. And then the DM will go, all right, John, not a real name, by the way. John, yeah, how do you want to do this? You took out their whole thing. And he goes, actually, let's give it to someone else. Hey, Billy, you can do this. You can describe it. And they're like, oh, really? And they're on their phone. They're on TikTok. Oh, I can? Oh, thanks, man. There have been times when I've created very optimized support characters and focused on helping the other players do things I knew they would find cool. So even when I'm doing it and helping them, it all comes back to me. It comes back to me. Hey, Zach, I built this character to support them, which comes back to me. This is all to say not everyone who power games or makes powerful builds is trying to derail the campaign. Middle finger their DM. Or make their other players feel lame. What is your take on this? And then their final thing is, P.S. I'm sorry for calling you Radildo, and yes, I'm an MTG player. That's how he thought I was going to go about it. I was going to be reading this, and he goes, hold on. He's likes making characters that with trying builds and combos and strategies. This must be a Magic player. And instead I go, this dork is trying to take the spotlight out of everyone's wind. He goes, he starts out and he's like, Zach, he goes, Zach, I love roleplay and building strong characters and helping my team out. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think about it? And I hate it. I hate it when other characters do the same. And they break the rules and bend it because it breaks my idea of what a character is. What do you think about this? This is also my name, and heck yeah, I'm a modern player in Magic. And I'm there, and I'm just like, I'm in a Carrabba's, and I'm just like, the entire world is yelling at me. And I go, I don't know, man. I go, that's awesome. Do you play Affinity and Modern? Do you play Blue, White, Control, and Standard? That's great, man. I love it. Yeah, that's sweet. I hope, I think this is my advice to you. Start ripping out like all the copper wiring out of your buddy's house or wherever you do it. And and not like much about your DMing, but like it's you. You go to your buddy's house, rip out all the copper wiring, sell it, and then use that money to go do slots or whatever. And then install one light to a backup generator that you bring and make sure it's on you the entire time. And then remember that, and then hand out your friends, give them flashlights. So when you are done, that huge light is still on you, but they can turn on their flashlights and they can be like, oh, well, this is actually part of my backstory. And then you can just be like, oh, I helped you get to that part of your backstory. So make sure that, like, I think you're taking the right steps, right? I think you are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Unlike a lot of people, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons for the role play and the story. And now you're making a strong character and you help everyone else at the table so that when they accomplish something, it comes back to you. And I think that's really great. But I feel like you're dumb, everyone else around you who is dumb, and they're stupider than you, and they're dumb, and we get that, and everyone on r/D&D will agree with you, r/MTG, they'll agree with you. But you gotta make it a little bit. Your audience is dumb, right? Your friends are dumb. It's about you, and they gotta know it. So put that spotlight on you, and just make sure they know it all comes back to you. We're gonna get into the super thanks. 2 questions. I think that's a record for the pod. Also, I just want to say, yeah, that guy who sent me 200 Argentinian pesos last week, I feel like Drake when he got like 5 cents. I looked it up. It was 14 cents. So thank you. Every bit helps. This is from Tic Tac 2102, sent big £5. Hey, Zach, me again. Quick thanks for your advice on making gods for my homebrew settings that helped snap me out of the world building blow. Anyways, I've been debating sending this one in. Imagine this person goes, I also sent in a question about how my character, like how I get into roleplay. I got into D&D because of roleplay and story. Anyways, I've been debating about sending this one in as it is a doozy, but ultimately I think it's funny enough that it should be shared. Let me tell you about the worst problem player I've ever encountered in any of my games ever. This was in my first campaign. I was a first-time player with a buddy who I met online. It was just me and one other player. Wow, it's crazy how every time people are like, Zach, never give new DMs advice. And then every time I get a problem, it's like, Zach, it's the DM, me, and one other person. Without fail. Every time. I was playing a Tiefling Warlock Fighter class multi whose backstory used to be, I think someone just sent in literally live, just sent in another super thanks. Oh, I'll make sure to get to that. I was playing a Tiefling Warlock Fighter multi-class whose backstory was that they used to be a slave before they made a contract with their Patreon. For freedom. I won't make fun of you. I think you mean patron. This is relevant. As we went for the... Oh my God, I can't read. First time. As we went first, met my Pale's character. The first thing he did was call my character okay, I don't know if I can read this, dude. I don't know if this is I don't know if I can read this on the pod. All right, I guess I'll go for a little bit. All right. Anyways, at the end of the dungeon, there was a sleeping dragon with an egg. We immediately began discussing ways to steal the egg, and that was the goal of us coming here. But as I suggested, we got back to the chambers to take a short rest so I could cast invisibility. Grunk decided, I guess it was this guy, decided to announce that he walked in the chamber, picked up the dragon egg. The dragon immediately woke up and began chasing us. He didn't even try to roll stealth. Dude, there's gotta be, like, already, I'm just, like, telling you, just your DM should have had the dragon only fight this character. And, like, or, like, they did a save that was extremely hard, something like that. So as we're running, Grunk decided he needed to distract us, so he cast True Polymorph on my character using a high-level magic item he stole from our other player and turned him. This is just like the top comment from the last video, where it's like, Zach, people write you in and they're like, Zach, I'm playing in a table where someone has me literally strapped to the reverse bear trap from Saw 1, right? What do I do? And I'm like, I don't know, stand up for yourself. Say something before it gets to this point. And he goes and he just writes on, you can see it. It's in the video. I'm leaving it up. He sent in £5. And it has to do with a lot of crazy stuff. It's got to do with a lot. It's a book. It's a novel. I'm reading this guy's PhD thesis on what, and all I just got to do is, my advice is stand up for yourself. Say something sooner. This is why you shouldn't have 2 people at the table. This is why you shouldn't have it. Because this dummy, dude. Oh my God. Zach, here's a 7-page story on how, dude, send this into like, send this into some YouTuber that'll just read it. Like that's all their videos is they go on Reddit and they just read and they laugh and they force laughs. I'm sure there's some YouTuber out there that would love this story. Please send it to them. My advice is to just stick up for yourself and call this guy out. Yeah, this is just crazy to me. People will literally send in messages to me, and it's like literally what that raccoon went through in Guardians of the Galaxy. And it happened to them IRL, and they're like, Zach, what do I do? I don't know, man. Go to the gym and work out and like beat up your friends in Minecraft. I don't know what to tell you. I beg you to send that into some YouTuber that's just going to read it and go like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, man. All right, $5 from Benny. And you guys want me to spend more time on these? Zach, spend more time on them because I send $5 in and it's literally, it is the manuscript. It's my Alan Wake manuscript. Like, it's literally like an Alan Wake manuscript. As I'm reading it, it's happening to me in real life. I'm there. I'm not even a fly on the wall. I'm like the naked mole rat from Smiling Friends. Benito Swagolini. Oh my God, whatever. Send in $5. Dear Mr. Boldman guy, love the podcast. I just wanted to get your opinion on how me and my friends have been playing D&D for the last few years since I think you'd find it interesting. So we do D&D online. It's in a Discord. And we all write in all day, and it's like we're telling a story together. No, that's not the question. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of you. We don't live in close proximity to each other. We didn't really connect with stuff like Roll20. So I had the genius idea to make the table we play at plus the maps in Minecraft. Oh my God, does that not take forever? I know there's like plugins and stuff you can use to make them faster, but oh my God, each player, NPC, and enemy is a distinct block, and the block is 5 feet on the maps. I build the areas, maps, combat areas set to get the visuals for players. I recently made some changes to include more atmospheric mods and resource packs and made some places for the players to explore themselves in an immersive experience. Thank you for your bucks and nuts. Yeah, and then like people... Oh, no, they were joking with me. I was like, yeah, and then people in the last video were like trying to make it so I didn't know what the... Like, that's the joke they were saying, Zach, is that they were saying that you still didn't get it. Yeah, I think it's cool. I hope it doesn't take up too much time. I personally would not do it if it took too much time. And it just goes to those things like playing online with a map. It just takes forever. But I think this is unique. I think it can work. And there are so many Minecraft mods that would help with something like that. I can definitely see something like that. You know, it's so funny because it's like if Sigil was that, if the virtual tabletop Wizards made was something like that, like it would get more... If Wizards made Minecraft, it would have done a lot better. Burning Blaze 005 with another big $5. Hey, back the Zold. I got a question about you about backstories. So when I write a backstory, it kind of sounds like a series of events rather than a story with no end. And I want to ask how you feel about how you write backstories. Do you get on a call with your DM and kind of brainstorm with them, or do you just write it all your own? Thanks, and I can't wait to find you at the gym and ask you about deer nuts. Okay, is that what I'm known for now? I just, for the first time, I am in the D&D game where it's just straight fantasy, and I had the hardest time making a character up, because usually it's like, I'm a robot with steampunk, and I do this, and I'm whatever. But I just made a wizard, and I was like, well, how do I make this interesting? And so I didn't. But what I do now is I do have a sheet that I fill out, usually. It depends on the campaign, right? If it's something that's very flavorful, like, I'm really itching to make a campaign about Metro 2033. But if it's something really flavorful, I'll read. I always like it, too, when my DM sends me, like, a packet, like a 3-page thing, just like, here's the world, this is what it's about. But if it's just, like, a fantasy character, excuse me. If it's just a fantasy character, I just usually make, like, a bullet point or something really simple. And I always do the same thing where it's something the DM can work with, and always a secret that even I don't know the answer to. And the character I just made, it was that one, their great aunt supplies the family with all the money, and no one knows where this money is coming from. And 2, my mom died under mysterious circumstances. I don't know, as the writer of that character, what that is, but it gives my DM more to play with, and it helps it so that there is a moment where it's like, if something's brought up, it's like a little bit of a reveal to me. Like, oh, that's what happened. I don't know this. I didn't plan it with them. So I'd say those are some advice if you're making a non-flavored character for a regular old fantasy game. Nathan Bush, 1208, sending $10. Mr. DeBold, loving the show. If Wizards of the Coast asked you to design the first full campaign for 2024 rules, what would you base it on? What level range would you even accept or toss it back in their faces? You help the hours at the car building factory in Michigan fly by. Wow. Well, if you're on the east side of the state, hello from the west side sometimes. Would you even... of course, like... It's so hard to say. I have worked on 2 one-shots that are like 6 pages long, like 6 to 10 pages long. And they're not available yet. One was a part of a Kickstarter. The other, I guess, is maybe getting published. I don't know. No, that's a really cool opportunity. And if it did really well, like that would help set me up for the future. But I'd have to like, how do I balance my time to do something like that? So if the time thing is out of the way, yes, I would accept it. And I would probably, what would I make it about? I, of course, give it like a certain flavor. And I think that flavor would be darker. I think people want like a darker setting. I think it would be something along the lines, because we have Strahd for Gothic. You know, we got Rime of the Frost Maiden, which was fine. Which is like that, So I don't know. I'd have to like think of what the atmosphere I'm like itching to write about. I think I don't want to do vampires because of Strahd, but it would not be in an established world that would be in like Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk, or anything like that, right? It would be something that I'd make on my own. That would be levels 5 to 10, 5 to 13. Maybe. I think I'd have it where it would be, I'll do the Wizards thing where I take like a level 1 to 5 campaign that like is a starter introduction tutorial and just slap my thing on there. No, that's a joke. I think I would do like a Cthulian thing. No, because they did that already. Like they've already done that. I was more thinking like a 1920s. Yeah, I'm not like, that's what I've been saying recently is I'm not impassioned to write about anything right now. So nothing's really speaking to me, and I don't want to keep going like Yark Swallow, my Last World, my whatever. I think like a Trench Crusaders thing would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that would be way too bloody and violent for a game set in like an official Wizards of the Coast thing. But I think it'd be fun to play around with like, maybe like a darker, like maybe take inspiration from like the Salem witch trials and like that kind of thing and mix it in with mind flayers. And I think like a werewolf campaign would be really fun to do, like a Lycan campaign, Lycan, something like that. That'd be fun. Like a 30 Days a Night mixed with, this is literally how I make D&D campaigns. I call it the 30 Days a Night mixed with lycanthropy, mixed in with. So I'd have to think about it, but it would be like, number 1, not in an established world already made. Number 2, it would probably be like level 5 to 13. Number 3, it would have a strict atmosphere. It'd be like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of anything right now off the top of my dome. And it would be dark. It'd be dark and gritty, and it would be story-based. It would have a heavy, like, sensical, easy to follow, but goes in depth story depending on how you want to play it. So would I turn it down? No, but I'd have to like change up. I would literally not be doing anything other than working. And I only say that because a lot of people do. But, I got to get inspired every now and then. 30 Art 5 sent in $5. Hey, Mr. Bold, I have a question for you. You should choose to answer. Should you choose to answer, you are playing a paladin in a home game with some friends. You have to put time and effort into your character and his backstory. However, the DM disregards your effort. Zach, hypothetically, you're in a game with your best friends and you're playing a paladin. And, like, what would you do here? Bro, just say it's you, dude. Just say it's you. However, the GM disregards your effort and almost effectively nerfs your paladin. On top of this, he also cheats on his wife. Zach, on top of this, it's not me. Like, what if this was you and they were cheating on his wife? Not once, but twice. Okay, I'm not saying their name. I'm tempted to like just delete this entire comment. That's crazy. What would I do? I've never been in that situation where someone's been cheating and I was aware and I had to tell them, but I'd probably God, I'd probably like look up how to build like a Thanos build in 5th edition. I'd probably, dude, honestly, I'd probably watch someone read Reddit comments and like force a laugh. I'd probably do something like that. Never message me again. Poppy on 7210 with another big 10. Zach uniting the Gym Bros and the D&D chuds into a single faction to fight the lizard people and establish the New Roid Order. Pompion, who are you? I'm like, why do you get me so well, bro? That's so funny. That is literally, yeah. Like if I made a magic, like a game store, it'd be right next to a gym, right? And the only way to get to me is you go through a gym, and you're just sitting there, and someone has like, like Katy Perry on or like a Vocaloid, and they're like, you know, whatever, and they're huge. You go in and there's just a big fountain in the middle and it's full of creatine and like 2% milk. And it's just like, it's like a chocolate fountain, like a golden corral, but it's huge and it's in the middle and people take a jug and they drink out of it, right? And you play with like no sleeved cards and you use a rubber band to keep them together. And if you're playing like D&D, if like, you have like the airbags under their seats, and if any dork walks in and is like, well, that dies to removal, their airbag goes off. They're just ejected out like a go-go gadget machine. I love BoldTakes and bad episodes. Hard cut to me. There is infrastructure. Can someone tell me why there's I like don't know if I can say anything about any conspiracy theory without being like, there's infrastructure under the Denver airport. Like, what's another? Why is there a Rothschild Island in Antarctica? Don't take me down. That's a joke. It is hypothetical. Drink the milk, the creatine milk out of the gym fountain, out of the fountain in the middle of the, what would even be that name? Like, it would be just like a huge name. It'd have like 20 words. It'd be the craziest LLC. Cave Bear sent $10. Hey, Zach the Built. I was looking to use my next character to explore mine and my fellow players' bodies and darkest urges. I'm looking for sin, the divine truth of flesh, and hedonism. Is there any way I can I can make my character reflect that? And would a mono green or blue deck do that better? You guys just get me. I love you. And then there's the guy who writes and he's like, what if we call them role games? What if we call them role games, actually? Oh, okay. and then he sends another comment. He's like, wow, okay, so you make fun of me, not no one else, not anyone else. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, like do like a mono blue deck, make sure it's like all counter spells, your friends can't play, like whatever. And yeah, Unjerk, thanks for the funny podcast. Keep it up, Bold. Yeah, again, I think it's so funny. Like I'm always on D&D Circle Jerk. Like I'm always scrolling through it. I think it's funny. Sometimes it gets on my freaking nerves because people are so not funny. But they're just like when I see another true shit post, dude, that's the best feeling, dude. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what it be. I wish there was something like The Sopranos where we're like 20 years in the can, he did. Fiber optic cable. Thank you for the great comment. I think that's it for the super thanks. Let me refresh and see if someone did actually send in another one of these guys. Oh yeah, I ended the last podcast with the echo and then the song from Left 4 Dead 2. How do you guys not know the song from Left 4 Dead 2? That's what the song is. Is that the new outro? Is that the new outro for the podcast? No, it's from Left 4 Dead 2. It's a joke. Oh my God, whatever. I'm just saying. No, I think they send it from my new inspirational video. Do not make fun of me for that, all right? It was a cool video concept. But that's it. Thank you guys for writing in. I hope you have a great blue-collar week and a blue-collar day. I will see you next week, and I'm sure there'll be more to talk about, and I can't wait to read the comments on this one. I can't wait for that. So thank you guys if you sent in some money. Tic Tac 2102, sorry for not reading your question, but that was insane, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week. Whatever. Have a great week. Bye.